What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Marshall live, and I am live. You guys, it is Monday morning, TGIM. Thank God it's Monday. Look, I don't know if you're like me. You may think I'm crazy, but I've been saying this for years. You guys, literally Monday is like, it's my favorite day of the week. Like it used to be Sunday, and it's still pretty close. Like don't get me wrong. I love Sundays. Sundays are my down days. Like you should have saw what I ate yesterday. You guys, I was eating fucking macaroni and cheese. I was having burgers. I was having me some fries. I wasn't doing any work. I wasn't answering any messages. I was also out getting massive bug bites on my neck. Check that out. But that's like my Sundays. Now, at the last half of my Sundays, I always do the same thing. I sit down, I plan out my entire week. I schedule out the interviews. I schedule out the content. And just so I have an idea, a plan of where it is I'm actually going to go for the week. Now, if you guys are wondering where my trusty co-host, Mr. Kyle Dillinger, is at this morning, you guys, Kyle Dillinger is no longer going to be co-hosting the Marshal Gillen show, the morning talk show here every day. He will no longer be here for that. You guys, we had a very messy breakup. He did a bunch of terrible stuff, and he was just like this awful. No, I'm kidding. Not at all. Like, Kyle's the best person in the world. If you guys are wondering why Kyle's no longer going to be co-hosting the show, it's because we're moving Kyle to a different program, okay? So Marshall TV, you guys can see here, the Marshall Gillen show's on Marshall TV. This week, and actually tonight, we're going to be launching the very first episode of the nightly show with Kyle Dillinger. Okay, so there's a few things going on over here at Marshall TV, but we got Kyle Dillinger launching the nightly show with Kyle Dillinger tonight. You guys, I'm super excited to tune in. It's going to go live at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here on Facebook and over on YouTube. The nightly show with Kyle Dillinger will be launching. I'm super excited. You guys, today's episode, we've got a lot to talk about. I want to break down the Candace Owens video, okay? I want to break down the Candace Owens video that is literally taking the internet by storm. I think it's at 80.5 million views since it came out. So we're going to break that down. It's about 18 minutes. I haven't done a walkthrough like this, but I really want to narrate through the whole 18 minutes. I want to break it down, and I want to kind of unpack it so people can understand, because 80 million people are seeing this, 80 million people, but are people really understanding it? If you go and read in the comments, it's madness. It's madness. It almost looks like a Twitter feed. You guys know Twitter's a dumpster fire. I can't help it. Kyle says, let's go. Lauren says, good morning. Yay, good morning. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, you guys, potentially, we might have a special guest tuning in. I don't know. And if this person does join us, this special guest, I will definitely be sure to let you guys know. But other than that, we'll see what happens. And then in the second half of the show, you guys, in the second hour, what we're going to do is I want to really start to draw the lines and connect how the media manipulates us. I want to see this is how the media manipulates. So I want to give you guys facts. Marshal Gillen from day one has never been about hyperbole. He's never been about hyperbole. It's never been like anything for views. My thing since day one, and you guys have a live recording of me doing it in 2017. You know, it's there. And I said, I just want to help people like I used to be. I just want to help people. And it's crazy to see what the media is doing right now. I, Marshal Gillen, was a vehement Donald Trump hater. Literally in 2016, when he won the election, I deleted all social media the next day, and I turned everything off because the media, because the way that it was being portrayed was really gross. I didn't like it. Yo, bro, what's up, Kyle? Good to see you, man. Tuning in from Canada. That's my brother from another mother. I love that guy, dude. Really, really great dude. Hey, Denise, what's up, girl? Super, super good to see you here. All my Gillen gang coming in. If you guys are part of the Gillen gang, comment below #Gillen gang. Let me know you guys are watching. If you guys are listening to this replay, whether it's on Apple or whether it's on Google, first off, I don't understand Android users. I don't get it. It's funny because I've been living in California for 13 years, and I come back to Illinois. It's like most people have Androids or Samsung, and everybody on the West Coast has Apple. Not that one is better than the other. I personally like Apple better. I'm plugged all the way in, man. They got their hooks in me. But it's funny. So thank you for hopping on. Thanks for hopping on, you guys. If you guys are listening to this on replay, whether it's Android, whether it's Google Podcast or Apple Podcast, dude, it would mean literally, bro or girl, right? It would mean the world to me if you could just take a little bit of time to leave a review. And even on this channel, leave a review, subscribe, say something nice about me. I'm doing my best to try to help save 1 billion lives, to save 1 billion lives. I need your help. I can't do it alone. So the more people you tell about Marshal TV, the Marshal Gillen Show, the Nightly Show with Cal Dillinger, and another new show I just launched yesterday called The Sunday Show with Marshall. But I'll get into that more. We got lots of programming coming out on Marshal TV, exclusive content coming out on Marshal TV. You guys, I'm going to build this channel into the #1 transformational entertainment channel in the world. Let me say that again. Transformational entertainment. That's the way that media should be going. That's the way that a content producer should be going. We should be creating transformational entertainment. Nobody wants to buy courses anymore. Nobody wants to sit around and learn. They ain't got time for that. What they do want to do, though, is be entertained. They want to be able to take their mind off of the stressors that are in life, and so they tap into social media. I know that. Being a top paid speaker for the last 3 years has allowed me to understand what truly influences people and persuades people. And in order to do that, I feel like, listen, I'm not going to try to get them to do things they don't want to do. Let's just meet them where they're at. Let's look at the market. Let's assess what the market is, right? Let's not get romantic about how we want to deliver it. And let's look for the solution in the market. Because you guys, the world is the world, regardless of your feelings. And that's what's one of the most explosive things about this Candace Owens video. That's what's one of the most explosive things about the COVID-19 scam. That's what one of the most explosive things are about the movie that was set up of the slaying of George Floyd. Like, this is a setup. Okay, I've been saying it since March. What was it, 13th, when they actually closed everything down? I was at Cincinnati Park. I made a video. It's here on YouTube on Marshal TV. You guys can go to youtube.com/Marshal Marshal Gillen. But I'm telling you guys, like, all these things that aren't being told and we don't know. And so for me, I'm trying to figure out how can I create an entertaining content while also informing people, but giving it to them in a way that transforms their lives. And so if you guys are going to want to learn, okay, well, that sounds cool, Marshall. How do I get into transformational entertainment? It's super simple. 1, start your own platform. 2, make friends with somebody who already has a platform. Okay. Let me say number 2 again. Make friends with somebody who already has a platform. So check this out, you guys. If you're a content creator, if you're creating content on the reg and it's a show, a format show, I'm not looking for more talk shows. Those are all done. Okay. I have the Sunday show. Okay. Every Sunday with me. I've got the Marshal Gillen show, which we ramp up interviews. Now that Kyle's gone, I have interviews booked out. We're usually going to have 2 guests a day on this show. But just know the Marshal Gillen show is going to be me getting to the bottom of other people's stories and sharing it with you. And then the nightly show is going to be straight just learning. So what I need you guys to do is, if you're a content creator and you guys want to launch your own sort of entertainment, if you're fitness somebody, if you're nutrition, I want there to be programming on Marshal TV 24/7. So at any time, somebody can tune in and build this. Now, I'm going to put tons of money and ad spend behind amplifying Marshal TV. I've got awesome new gear. If you guys haven't gone to MarshalGillen.com and checked out the Marshall merch, go to the store, check it out. We have new gear going in there. I have Marshall Palooza shirts. They look like band t-shirts that are going in today. We got a new Gillen Gang t-shirt that's going in today with a phone number and a Gillen Gang on the back. Lots of cool stuff. But I want you guys to understand that if you want to be part of what it is I'm building, I would love to have you. I've told you from day one, this platform is our platform. There was nobody there that was willing to reach down and give me a hand without charging me an asshole load of money to do it 3 years ago when I needed it. I needed help, and I was willing to help myself, but I just didn't have the fucking money to do it. That's what Marshal TV exists for. Instead of just continuing to sell coaching programs and continuing to sell consulting programs, I'm done with that shit. I'm done with it. And I said, you know what? I'm literally taking all the payment gateways out of all of my content, and we're going to make a fucking TV channel out of everything. Everything I know, spiritual stuff, healing stuff, biohacks, business stuff. We'll have a business talk. We're going to launch a business talk, and all these other shows will be once a week. But I just want you guys to understand that this transformational entertainment channel, Marshal TV, is literally going to revolutionize the way that content creators think about creating. It's no longer just going to be for views and clicks. It's no longer just be for money, but it's going to be a mesh of in between. How can we use storytelling and vulnerability to transform the world, right? Gillen Gang, we're on a mission to save 1 million lives. What? 1 million? We're on a mission to save 1 billion lives, to save 1 billion lives with the power of vulnerability and storytelling. You guys are about that. Don't forget to join my team. I have a team. I want you to join it. It's called the Gillen Gang. I started a gang. You guys can see the number right there. If you text Gillen Gang to 833-222-2694, I'll let you in my gang. Wow. What a week last week was, you guys. I have been called all sorts of things under the sun. I've been promoting, all lives matter. Now, I'm not saying that now, because yesterday during the second episode of the Sunday show, which is a live show that streams right here on Marshall TV every Sunday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, I was streaming with the Sunday show, and I had a friend of theirs, and it was an acquaintance, more like an acquaintance online. And this acquaintance, what happened was he's a black male. And so I was saying all lives matter, and he started saying that's insensitive of you to say. And so on the show, we went back and forth. He was in the comments, I was here, back and forth. And we were just sharing like straight up, like, yo, like, I'm like, you don't get it, bro. This is why all lives matter right now. And I was talking about veterans, and I was talking about sex trafficking, rescuing the kids, and I was talking about a lot of stuff. By the end of that 1 hour show, right? By the end of the Sunday show, his name is Glenn Lundy. Shout out to Glenn Lundy, my man. Glenn Lundy and I had come to an agreement where we realized that we not only maybe disagreed with each other, but we still could love each other and be super supportive. And then in the end, when we were patient long enough, we both changed our views. Now, this is never about getting anybody to change their mind or tell you guys what's right or wrong. Never, 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 never. However, what this is about giving you guys all the information so you can just make all the facts based on how you perceive it best on your past experiences. I don't feel like the media does that for us. I don't feel like we're set up to have all the knowledge. And I think that's why so many people get so triggered and angry. And that's what we're going to break down in today's episode as we go through this Candace Owens video. And as we go into the second half, because I want to show you guys a lot of examples. Like I said in the beginning, bro, I'm not about fucking he said, she said. I'm like, no, show me the facts. Show me the facts. That's the deal. Because I say a lot of things, and most people don't stop long enough to actually hear what I'm saying. They just read the headline and then they react. So, for example, I've been getting hate all over. Like, this is one thing. This is not the one. Hold on a second. Let me show you this. I had a picture. Damn, that was going to be seamless. That was supposed to be seamless. I was supposed to like go, oh, boom. Did you see that? This is some of the messages I got this week based on some things. Like this guy says, you have to do better as being a racist, non-black supporter. He's telling me Black Lives Matter. And then he gives me this thing. And then you guys can see there, I'll see you daily at 7 a.m. I'll see you daily at 7 a.m. daily, you racist, cocksucking Trump supporter. Like, this guy doesn't even know me, right? Doesn't know me. But I wear a hat like this that says Keep America Great Again, right? And people are like, oh, Marshall is a Trump supporter, blah, blah, all this, and they hate me. Now, listen, I'm going to say this one time. For anybody that's listening or watching, you might want to write this down, because this is going to be very powerful for you to understand. Whether or not you adopt it or not, I'm telling you, this is just straight up. You get what you accept in life. You get what you accept in life. That's the biggest problem. And that's why I love the Candace Owens videos, because what she is saying is not about being black, white, red, yellow, in between, male, female, this religion, that religion. That's not what she's saying. Broke, poor, fucking rich, wealthy, whatever. What she is basically saying is you get what you deserve. Okay, now let me explain this to you. Because the absolutely quickest, fastest way, beyond a shadow of a doubt, to find out who is losing in their life, who's getting losing results in their life, is to tell them that. If somebody is complaining to you and they're saying this and that, and you say, listen, you get what you accept out of life, there's a couple of reactions you're going to get. One is you're going to get a reaction like Glenn Lundy had to me yesterday on the Sunday show. Okay? Which, again, you guys, brand new show, the Sunday show with Marshall at 9 a.m. every Sunday, Central Standard Time. So Glenn Lundy, the first reaction you get is one like Glenn Lundy, where he was like, where he's worked on himself hard enough, long enough. He's committed to holding himself accountable, taking responsibility for all situations in his life. In the business world, we call it taking ownership. When we teach our people about customer service and how to deal with their clients, how to deal with consulting, or how to coach people, the first thing we always say is you gotta take ownership of their problems. Now, I know technically you didn't create their problems, but when you take ownership of that problem, that gives people peace of mind, and it makes you more relatable, and then they're willing to lean into you. And so the first thing is taking ownership of the problem. And so all great leaders are able to do that. And all Glenn Lundy did yesterday was he took accountability for how he was perceiving his reality. Now, whether it was right or wrong, he wasn't deciding that. He didn't even agree with the reality that he was seeing. However, he still took ownership of that experience and asked himself, why is this not making me feel good? Why is this triggering me? And how can I run that and assess that through the experiences that I already have and the knowledge I've already acquired up to this point in my life, and then react accordingly. Because Glenn doesn't like the way that he feels when he's yelling and enraged, he just decided to hold himself more accountable to how he reacts to things in life. And now here we are all these years later, and he's this amazing guy like I am and like the Gillen gang is. That's why we win. That's why we're happy. That's why we have fun. Because when you take resourceful actions, you get resourceful results. And you know what's fun, and you know what's happy, and you know what's going to help you win is getting resourceful results, okay? Getting the things that you want in life. That's what's going to make people happy, but not enough people are willing to unplug from the machine that triggers them, because people, it's like a drug hit. People, they get a drug hit, a reaction in their life when they don't get it anywhere else, when they validate themselves through their hurt. They don't even realize they're doing it, but people validate themselves through their hurt. Like, this guy doesn't know me. Apparently, this guy has been a victim of somebody being incredibly racist and ignorant to him. Over time, was this man's a little boy, right? He grows into a man, and then he sees somebody like me, and I'm an instant trigger. Imagine the hate and rage in your heart to message somebody that you don't know, who has done a ton of good for this world, right? In his 35 years so far, and is going to do considerably more, to say, I'll see you daily at 7 a.m. daily, you racist, cocksucking Trump supporter. I mean, imagine the hate and rage for that guy. It doesn't even make me mad, because I know that when that guy wakes up, I know when Rashad wakes up in the morning, he doesn't feel good about himself. He doesn't hate me. He hates himself. He hates the idea of the hurt and the pain. And so instead of being able to turn to it and handle it, and it's not his fault, he doesn't have a template or a blueprint. Nobody's ever shown him ever in his life how he's supposed to heal that. And that's everybody. That's every situation. You see people being triggered and doing this and that and acting out in rage. You guys, I say this all the time. Anger and rage is a proactive emotion to being hurt. Anger and rage is a proactive emotion to getting hurt. So if you've been hurt in the past, you're subconsciously learned that fucking sucks. I don't want that anymore. And so you develop this persona and this anger, and that anger, that way when you see something that triggers that hate, that triggers that pain, that hurt, for like it did in the past, subconsciously you're going to override any emotion of acceptance or understanding. You're going to attack it with anger, because that is the only way you have subconsciously been taught by yourself to be safe. That's all anger is. So you can understand that, you go, well, bro, do I really want to be angry, or do I want to be happy? Do I want to have fun, or do I want to be miserable? For Marshal Gillen and people like Glenn, we understood that the way that the world had us programmed through media, which we're going to break down in the second half of the hour, the way that the world had us programmed through media was getting us to have unresourceful thoughts that tapped into limited emotions and feelings and experiences that we had from our past, that then comes out in an unresourceful emotion, which gets us to take unresourceful actions, and those unresourceful actions take unresourceful results. I love what Candace Owens said in her video that we're going to play here in just a second after the break. But she basically says, if you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. Okay. Now, I broke this down on the Sunday show yesterday. If you guys haven't seen it, it's up on the podcast platform. It's also over the replay is available here on YouTube and on Facebook. But I love that. It's like, hold yourself accountable. If you play a stupid game, you get stupid prizes. Like, that's what's up. And you guys are going to see in the video that she's not saying that there's a problem inherently that's black, white, yellow, red, or anything like that. There's a problem with people not holding themselves accountable. Like, this past weekend was very interesting and very telling sign for me. It was hurt a little bit, to be honest with you, but it is what it is, because I said you get what you accept. I'm always the first person that's standing up and going, look, this is how I've been doing it. It's not making me feel very good. This is what I'm going to try now. And that's what the Marshal Gillen show is about. That's why we share this. What Marshal TV is about, transformational entertainment through vulnerability and storytelling. And so it's because it's interesting, because now I look at the way I've been living and the way I've been thinking about all of this. And it's like, oh, bro, you're doing the same thing you're telling other people not to do. So let me tell you what I mean. This weekend, I was hanging out with a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, somebody I've known for years, somebody that I've always been nice to, that I've never judged, that I've never yelled at. There's not even one time. And this person, they get a lot of hate and anger and rage that comes to them, and a lot of, whatever. And I'm always just by their side, supportive, because I know that I don't need to meet them with a, well, I told you so, or, I don't know. Never. Like, this person never needs to be told that from me, because this person is told this from everybody in their life. And so now here we are, like fucking, 20 years later, and I'm like, still have always been nice. I've never done anything mean. Like, I've been called to this person to just help guide them. I don't know why. And I would consider them like a best friend almost. And so it's curious because we're sitting around this past weekend and there's a few of us friends who are all very close friends, and we're all not me. And I'm not trying to be holier than thou, just not me, because it's not my fucking style. Because I'm not a fucking whining complainer. I'm not a loser. I don't complain about things. I accept responsibility for everything that happens in my life in that moment. It's a trained habit. I had to train myself very fucking hard and very disciplined to do this over years. So it's not like I'm like, oh, like, that's why me being around the right people in the right rooms with the right information has changed my life. That's why I go to events. That's why I go to masterminds. That's why I go to retreats. That's why I join coaching programs. That's for me personally, because I want to shortcut success. And so it's the same thing now. It's like I look at what's going on. One sec, I need some coffee. I know it doesn't seem like it. And so for me, it's the same thing. It's like I can fast forward and accept accountability for my life, and I don't ever have to blame it on anybody else. So I'm always responsible for how I feel. And I know that. So our friends are sitting around there complaining back and forth about relationships. This person, that person, this person did this. This person keeps doing this. This person is, out cheating and doing drugs. And this person, I catch them in their Snapchat. And then it's like over here, it's like, oh, and this person, they do this and they do that. And I'm not going to deal with them doing this anymore. And treating me like a funker and all this stuff that going on. And they're not right or wrong. They're just expressing their emotions. And so, I hadn't said anything. They kind of look at me and I was like, well, friend, I talk about it all the time. And remember, my history in and of itself is like, I've never been anything but absolutely fucking amazing to this person, literally. And so I look at this person and I'm like, well, I'm like, listen, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we get what you accept in life. And with that, the person like leaned forward in their chair, like what would have been in my face, basically like, fuck. I mean, with like such anger and like, was just like, fuck you, Marshall, fuck you. And I was like, I just went silent. And I thought to myself, wow, that's exactly like what this time is like in real life. And I always tell you guys, everything's a micro and a macrocosm in and of itself. And so I just sat there and I thought to myself, I'm like, this person has a repeated history of treating you like this, Marshall. And you keep justifying to yourself why it's okay to hang out with this person for whatever reason, no matter how strong that right is or whatever it is. At the end of the day, when that does happen, when this person screams at me, which happens a lot, like it doesn't make me feel good. Like I don't feel good because I used to get screamed at all the time. And so in a world where I'm telling you guys all the time, oh, you gotta set your boundaries. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. Well, guess what? The quickest way to tell if a person is losing is to tell them they get what they accept in life. Hey, listen, your external reality is a direct reflection of your internal thoughts and feelings. That's not a subjective or opinion. That's a fact based on quantum physics, science. And so knowing that, I'm just like, I've accepted what life is. And I look at the situation now, and that's what's so enraging to me about the protest and looting, and I'm not saying that it is right or wrong. What I'm just saying is that people are reacting in rage because they don't have enough information. They've never been taught the skills or the mindset or the emotionality and how to process their feelings, communicate their hurt to themselves, and then heal it through forgiveness. And so they act out, and it just perpetuates hate, perpetuates hate, perpetuates hate. It never stops. It's an ongoing cycle. It's one and the same energy. And so I realized that just by showing up to this friend every single time and giving that person an opportunity to use me, like this person only acts like that because my life is in order. Because I always admit what it is that I do wrong, and then I assess it. And that annoys some people. That annoys them. Oh, you always think you're so good. That like this person, although a good friend in most regards, like that is the trait that I even found in my last relationship, where it was like 80% good, but the 20% was that person reminded me that I'm not, that I can be screamed at, that I don't love and respect myself enough to set boundaries. And so yesterday I was supposed to have plans with that person, and I was supposed to go do something super, super fun. And I was like, you know what? Nah, I really wanted to do it. I really did. I really wanted to go and do this fun thing yesterday, but I said, nah, not going to do that, because I too get what I accept in life. And if I want to have the kind of friend, like my friend Adrian, oh, bro, that motherfucker is like the best person. He's never yelled at me. We've been friends for fucking years. We've never yelled at each other. Yeah, we've definitely fucking disagreed with each other, but we never yelled and fucking screamed at each other. It's just, we don't operate like that. Like this dude is a salt of the earth. Not that the other person isn't, but what I'm saying is that I want to be around friends like Adrian who are 100% in my corner all the time, and that they are willing to accept accountability for their life. I think a lot of people out there aren't right now. And I think that's like one of the biggest problems that we're seeing across America. And I think it really gets into like what I call American privilege. I don't think it's a white privilege or a black privilege or anything like that. I think that everybody's fucking tripping, and it's because they're all American privileged. And I know a lot of people don't like, oh, what does that even mean, Marshall? Well, I talked about it on the Sunday show, and we'll break it down a little bit. But I'm going to take a break real quick, you guys. I'm going to grab some more coffee. I know it doesn't seem like I need it. I'm going to use the bathroom. I'm going to grab some vitamins, and I want you guys to do whatever you got to do. But come back after the break, and let's get into the Candace Owens videos. I'm going to play Candace Owens video. I'm going to play it live right now, and then I'm going to dissect it as we go. All right. I love you guys, and we'll see you shortly after the commercial break. I think I might be a racist. Like, seriously. I think that I'm a racist. Am I a racist? I'm not sure. And that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Like, social media, the last week especially, has freaking made me think I'm a racist. Like, just the things that I've said, even after all the years of service and results and things that I've done, I think after this past week, I think I might be a racist. I mean, I don't know. Arabic, I never thought I was a racist, but people keep telling me that I am. They're telling me that I'm white privileged, that I'm part of the problem, that I can't understand racism because I'm white, I'm a bigot, I'm a fraud, I'm a disappointment, I'm a liar, all these I'm naive, I'm blind, like all these crazy things. And so I woke up this morning and I started thinking to myself, I was like, well, I mean, everybody keeps telling me I'm a racist. Like, am I racist? Like, I don't know. And it's because I've been told that I'm a racist all week, because I've been saying things like all lives matter, because I've been saying that I don't believe in the I'm not going to support the movement. And it's crazy. Like, I don't know what racist is anymore. I don't know if I'm racist. I don't know if I'm not racist. I don't know if I'm white privileged. I don't know if I'm not white privileged. I don't know. It's become so confusing and so overwhelmed. It's like, if you believe in COVID, then you follow the fake news. And it's like, if you don't wear a mask, you're part of the problem. It's like, okay, well, now the masks are gone. Now COVID's all of a sudden gone. And if you're silent, you're part of the problem. If you're out protesting, you're part of the problem. If you're looting and rioting, you're part of the problem. If you stay silent, if you speak up, if you say this, if you say that, like, bro, like, you literally can't say a fucking thing anymore without being called out by somebody. And one of the most disappointing things, I think, is the loss and the misconception that we're overlooking here, which is the fact that you fucking live in America. This is the problem. A term I've been hearing a lot thrown around, and I think it's total bullshit. And you go, oh, yo, that's because you're white, Marshall. It's white privilege. White privilege has been thrown around a lot. Oh, white privilege, you don't understand. No, listen, you don't understand. The thing of it is it's not that I see it as that. It's that it says American privilege. It's an American privilege that you have to be able to protest. It's an American privilege that you have to be able to go out in the streets and protest. It's an American privilege that you get to have cops that protect you. It's an American privilege that you get to start in a business. It's an American privilege that you get freedom of speech. It's an American privilege that you get to go direct to like, do you understand what I'm saying? And so everybody wants to talk about this and that, but do you understand? Like, if you were in any other fucking country in the world, you wouldn't be seeing what's going on in America right now. And it's because we're so free. It's because we have the opportunity to speak and say the things that we want. And no other country is like that. There's no other place in the world that can do the things you can in America. And I think it's interesting that the people that are actually racist are pointing the finger at me going, Marshall, you're racist. You can't speak on racism because you're part of the problem. No, motherfucker. I think all lives matter. Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Marshall live, and we are back live for another episode of the Marshal Gillen Show. I just realized it's Monday, June 8th. I mean, I didn't just realize that, but what I just realized is that during my opening, I didn't even say what today was. It's June 8th. It's Monday. I fucking love Mondays. I've been loving Mondays, and the reason that I love Mondays is because I always look at Mondays as a mindset. I'm like, again, the type of people that are losing in life, they're the people that are complaining. And they complain about dumb shit like Mondays, like things that you literally can't do anything about. Monday comes no matter what. And on top of that, it's fucking made up. It's not even real. Somebody just made a calendar and said, this is the day. Like, time is not real, you guys. There's no place to be. The only thing you have to do from this day forward is die. That's the only thing that you have to do. Everything else is a construct of the stories that we tell ourselves as things that we need, but we don't actually need to do anything. You don't actually need to be on time anywhere. Like, that's not how it is. Like, if I walked outside and I found a squirrel, I was like, what's up, squirrel? What are you doing today? He'd be like, what the fuck do you mean? What am I doing? Like, what do you mean? What am I doing? I'm just fucking being here. got to find some nuts today, like every other day. And I'm just being like, I'm not doing anything. You know what I mean? Like if I was like, hey, well, what's up, tree? What are you doing? And be like, I'm just being a tree. What are you doing, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? And so I just want you guys to remember, it's the mindset that we approach life with. I don't want to get too far out there because some of you are new to the way that I think, which is I believe that, you know, we have control over our destiny. I think that life is basically like a video game. And I believe that, you know, we can control our own destiny. Like that's what it comes down to. I think that there's a fate or destiny maybe that we you know, that we have programmed to complete, but it doesn't mean we're going to complete it. It's like Mario was destined to rescue the princess, except he dies in some of the stages. He has to keep coming back and you play the game. And so anyways, yeah, not to get too far off topic. I had some vitamins in between the break and maybe that had something to do with it. But if you guys saw the last clip from the Sunday show with Marshall, go check that out. And really, that's what I've been thinking. I'm like, it's an American privilege. You guys, everybody wants to talk about this and that, and they want to segment each other and they want to create division and they want to separate. And it's like, bro, like, come on. Like, why are we doing that? Why do we have to put a label on everything? Like, just the fact that you can sit here and complain about this stuff and have the right to do it, right or wrong, is an American privilege that the rest of the world doesn't have. And I think a lot of us forget that. It's like people want to complain about their kids. Oh, they don't know how good they have it. Man, the fucking broke people that are living on the system, they don't know how good they have it. The people that are living wealthy at the top of the system, they don't know how good they have it. People in between, they don't know how good they have it compared to the rest of the world. Like I've talked about on former episodes, like my aunt is from the Philippines. When she thinks of America, she laughs. She laughs at how crazy divided we are, how racist we are to each other. Like all of it. It's not just whites versus black. Blacks are just as racist to whites, and blacks are Mexicans to whites, or Mexican. Like it's all of it. It's not like one. It's not one ethnicity has like exclusive rights to racism. It's an American thing that's concocted by a media, by a bigger play, an establishment. I call it the permanent government that has been doing this for decades and decades. We're going to get into that in the second half of the show in the next hour. But first, I want to bring on this Candace Owens video, and we're going to go through it. We're going to break it down. It's 18 minutes, and I'm going to stop it and pause it, and we're going to see. Now, this is the thing. Whether you're listening or viewing, I want you to stay tuned. I want you to tune in, especially if you haven't seen it yet, because I want you to comment as it comes to you too. What does this make you feel? I'm never here to tell you what's right or wrong. I just want to know, hey, let's start a conversation for everybody. You guys, I'm in fucking slippers and freaking little shorts, Ranger panties. Shout out to all my brothers and sisters that have served our country. Appreciate you. God bless the veterans and their families. Man, that bug bite is fucking gnarly. It itches so bad. Let me tell you something about Illinois, boy. The bugs here are fucked up, and they're everywhere. Like you can't even walk anywhere without we don't have bugs in California. We don't have bugs in California. Also, maybe I need to do an episode next of when do I go back to California? When's the right time to leave your mom? Because I don't ever want to leave her, ever. But I don't want to be here either. Weird conundrum. Maybe I'll get an expert on to help me through that live for you guys. So anyways, let's play this Candace Owens video, and I'll show you guys what's up. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Okay, you guys see it there? Is she on camera? Oh, there she is. I'm going to stay in. Not that you guys want to see my mug, but I'm going to break this down like I'm a freaking sportscaster watching the Super Bowl. We're going to do it together. Hey, by the way, if you guys haven't been to MarshallGillen.com yet, go to MarshallGillen.com. Check out some of the new Marshall merch that we have up in the shop. In the meantime, let's get into this Candace Owens video and see what it's all about.
Hello, Facebook family. I have decided to do this video. It has been weighing very heavily on my heart and on my mind as well. And it was something that I wanted to say early on, but there were so many emotions and so much pressure.
Now, first, I just want to stop and say, listen, I don't believe that, like, the problem is that it's like somebody says this and then somebody else says that, and then they want to say that that person's right, they're right, and that person's wrong, and this person's going, I'm right and you're wrong, and everybody's doing that to each other. And so a lot of people are staying silent on how they feel and what they believe. Listen, you guys, don't judge yourself and criticize yourself and shame yourself over the feelings you might be having. If you can come from a place of understanding and asking, listen, this is how I feel. Can somebody else expand on this? What is somebody else feeling? How are you feeling? This is why the Marshal Gillen Show exists. This is why I created Marshall TV, because all these taboo subjects that nobody wants to talk about, I just want to talk about them and I want to understand them better. I want to understand how should I be feeling, or what are some other ways that other people are feeling. That way I can assess it, and I can hold accountability and ownership of my own life, and then I can make opinions instead of just being mad and outraged and angry. Like if you go to the Candace Owens video on her page, you should see all the hate and comments below it. Okay. And so to any of you watching this, whether you agree with Candace or not, what I am saying is maybe it's a time for you to start a platform through love and compassion, understanding, so you can start a conversation. Okay. Be part of that billion that save a billion with vulnerability and storytelling. I applaud her. Now, I'm a little bit biased because I agree with her standpoint, but I applaud all the people who come at this with a loving perspective, an understanding, saying, this is what I believe, and are not afraid to stand up, because that's like what Jesus did. When everybody else was yelling at him and calling him names, I mean, they fucking killed him. I don't know if you're supposed to say fucking and Jesus in the same sentence. I think that's going to upset some people. I'm not trying to. I love everybody, right? But like, that's what Jesus did. Like, that's what Jesus was. Okay. And so why don't we focus on being Christ-like and Buddha-like, right? Why don't we focus on telling our story and doing it from a place of compassion and understanding, and like the Buddha says, that of a place of oneness, where we're all one in the same energy. And I applaud Candace for that. And I'm calling to the Gillen gang for you guys. People go, well, there's so much toxicity, I'm just going to add to the noise. Okay, cool. Well, remember, you get what you accept in life. So where else in your life is there something that you want to say and express, but you don't, because you don't want to rock the boat? Because if you're telling me that that's how you feel about repressing the emotion and the expressions that you want to give, and you're going, no, I'm not going to do that, then you're just resisting and denying part of yourself. Maybe it's just a phase you go through, and maybe it's not. But continuing to stifle your own truth is part of the problem. That's what makes so many of us angry and enraged in America. And then when we do lash out, it's an anger, and that's what we're giving. And so I love that Candace and people like me are coming out and being like, yo, listen, like, this is my standpoint, and this is what I believe. Now, if you can give me some information, I would love to expand that. And if it changes, it changes. Like, if you guys go watch the Sunday show yesterday, you'll see that by the end of that show, I gave up All Lives Matter. I was like, oh, I get it. Thank you so much for explaining it to me like that, Glenn Lundy. And now I'm like, love matters. Okay. So it's very important.
For me to go with a popular opinion about who George Floyd was. And sometimes it can be difficult when there are just so many external pressures to say what you believe. And this was an instance where I felt like my silence would have been better in the beginning. But the more that I think about it, I realize that we are being sold a lot of lies, and at the detriment to the Black community, at the detriment to the white community, and at the detriment to America as a whole. So I want to come out and say that I do not support George Floyd and the media depiction of him as a martyr for Black America. I'm going to explain why, and I hope that some of you guys will understand where I'm coming from. I have spent a considerable amount of time reading a lot of Black authors that I think are.
So just for a little bit of context, Candace Owens is a conservative speaker. You know, she speaks on politics, influencer, if you will. She has a new book coming out. I don't know Candace Owens be from the difference from her or anybody else. I only found her when this video came out earlier this week. And I've just been following some of her stuff. Obviously, I'm a little biased, and I agree with a lot of the stuff she says, but this is not a promotion of Candace Owens. I want to promote a conversation. I happen to have been thinking this exact viewpoint. She describes it and lays it out beautifully, and that's why I'm doing this. If you guys want to follow her, that's fine. If you don't, you don't. But we're not about hate here. Any hate will instantly be blocked from all of Marshal TV. Acceptance, understanding, good conversation, disagreements, no problem. But hate and ignorance, willing ignorance, will never be tolerated. Okay?
Some of the most brilliant Black Americans breathing, Walter Williams, Shelby Steele, Thomas Sowell. And I recently came across something that was an idea that was planted into my head by Shelby Steele. And it has been something that I cannot forget. It is something that will stick with me for the rest of my life. And it is something I hope the Black Americans are watching will stick with you for the rest of your life. Shelby Steele said that the Black community is unique from other communities. Our culture is unique from other communities because we are the only community that caters to the bottom denominator of our society. Now, let me explain what that means. It means to say that not every Black American is a criminal, not every Black American is committing crimes, but we are unique in that we are the only people that fight and scream and demand support and justice for the people in our community that are up to no good. You would be hard pressed to find, a Jewish person who has spent 5 stints in prison, who commits a crime and dies while committing a crime, and that the Jewish people champion and demand justice for.
Wow.
You will be hard pressed to find this in white America. You'll be hard pressed to find this even in Latino America. If there is a person that is spent multiple times in prison, you are not going to see a bunch of Latinos coming out demanding justice for this person, even if, and I want to be very clear, what I'm saying is not any defense for Derek Chauvin. I hope Derek Chauvin gets the justice that he deserves to be, implemented upon him, and that the.
So I'll take a break for 1 second. Now, this is very, very interesting, because now this is the first part where it really incites a lot of people's rage, because what she just basically said, and the way that I see it and the way that I hear it, is like, you get what you accept in life. You play a stupid game, you get stupid prizes. I've been talking about this for the last week. I personally, Marshal Gillen, in my younger years, I've been pulled on. I've been racially profiled. I've been pulled out of a car at gunpoint by the cops because they were racially profiling me as a Mexican. I've also been held at gunpoint from not good people, from gang members who were killing or were saying stuff because I'm a white boy. Okay, so I'm not saying, oh, Marshall, like, oh, pat on the back. I'm just saying, like, I get it. And the reason that I got racially profiled in the younger years and pulled out of the car at gunpoint is because my head was bicked. It was shaved with a bick completely down. And I was wearing big bandanas folded across my head. And I was wearing a throwback jerseys and big baggy pack. I looked like I was dressing like a gangbanger. Like, what the fuck, Marshall? You know what I mean? And so I know I'm half Mexican. I know a lot of Mexicans that they dress all kinds of ways. But for the by and large, unless they got out of something bad, a certain type of gang member that usually is the Latino type dresses a certain way. So guess what? When you show up in life in a way that is going to draw attention to things you might be doing, and then, like, I dress like a gangbanger, cool, I get racially profiled, and then I want to stand there and say, oh, you guys fucking racially profiled me, and I want to yell and scream. I'm baiting people. I'm baiting the cops to pick on me. Or I'm not, but I'm just doing shady shit. I was driving around a really fucking shady town in Illinois. This is when I was 21. Really shady area of Illinois, Rockford, Illinois. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I was driving a brand new Cadillac CTS. It was like I was on a suspended license for a DUI. It's like I was doing stupid ass fucking shit. That's why stupid shit happened to me. And so I think it's interesting, especially me being half Mexican. I can picture what the Mexican community would be saying if somebody like, I don't even fucking know, Jorge, right? If Jorge fucking died like that, they'd be like, oh man, that's fucked up, SA. Like, that's just not right. But you know what? Jorge was a fucking dumbass, yo. Like, he shouldn't have been high on meth and like doing all these things, man. Like, wow. Like, fucking, peace out to Jorge. Like, we got to look out for his mama and his family, but that stupid motherfucker deserved it, right? Like, that's basically what most of the Mexicans would be saying, dude. Now, I'm not saying that George is a stupid motherfucker, George Floyd. What I'm saying is that, like Candace said, this guy was not the most upstanding human being. Now, again, this is in no way, shape, or form for me to discredit what he went through. Nobody should be murdered at the hands of anybody. I don't believe in the death penalty. I don't believe that's an eye for an eye. I don't believe that another human being, no matter what the circumstances, ever has a right to take somebody else's life for under any circumstance. That's just what I believe. So I'm not condoning what happened to him. It was a disgusting, despicable act. Okay? I want to make that clear. I think that, like she said, Derek Chauvin should get everything that he deserves. He should go through due process of the law, the way it's intended to be upheld, the way that we voted as a democracy. Okay? That's what should happen. And that's what is happening. And so I'm not condoning that, but let's not change the fact that when you look at what George Floyd, and she's going to get more into this, but George Floyd has been in prison five different sentences, 5 different times. When he got out of prison, and you know what I mean, and was trying to reform his life, him and like 5 other dudes ran up in some chick's house trying to rob her. He held a gun at her stomach and told her not to move or he's going to kill her, right? Like, and they didn't find anything. They think they ended up stealing her phone and her wallet maybe, right? That's all they got. And that's what that woman had to go through, a home invasion. Trauma that's probably going to affect her for the rest of her life. I have a good friend of mine who's a white guy, grew up in Palm Springs. It's kind of a shady part of it, though. Got messed up with the wrong people, white guy, and he went through a home invasion. That was fucking like 12 years ago. Guys that were looking to kill him. He was hiding under the bed, hiding from them as they kicked in his door, and they were looking to kill my friend. And even to this day, like 12, 13 years later, like his shit is still he has security cameras. Like, he's not doing anything shady. He's completely gone from the area, completely different guy. But even still today, his shit is fucked up. Like, you know what I mean? And so imagine that woman. Now it's easy. Now it's easy to say, hey, Marshall, you're just trying to fuck that. You're just trying to pick out bad things. You're just trying to make him look bad. I'm not trying to make him look bad. I'm just calling it as it is. What if somebody fucking kicked in your grandma's door, your mom's door, your sister's door, your daughter's door, and did that? 5 dudes. What if they were black? What if they were Mexican? What if they were Asian? What if they were white? You wouldn't fucking care. And so what I'm saying is that let's be careful to what the media is propping up, because when you really dig deeper and you get to a different frame, what you're going to learn is that, wow, maybe this dude is doing fucking shady ass shit. Maybe, now again, I'm going to be very clear on this. I'm not saying that he deserved to die. No, I very conversely just said nobody ever deserves that. He deserved to go to jail for what he was doing. Fact. Okay. Now, the part that bothers me is that I still haven't seen any facts or proof anywhere that Derek Chauvin has come out and said he hates black people. I haven't seen any proof that this was racially motivated from Derek Chauvin. Quite to the contrary, it's interesting because when you look at it and you know the history, which is that George was a pretty scummy guy. I mean, come on. Like, who wants their daughter to date? And I don't care about the race, not the race. Who wants their daughter to date somebody or have kids with somebody that has a fucking criminal record like that? Not me. Tell you that fucking much. And so it's interesting because at the time of his arrest, he was high in fentanyl, which is commonly found in to enhance like cocaine or heroin. He was high in methamphetamines. When he's being arrested, which the media doesn't show, way before he's on the ground, when he's actually being taken out of the car, he's in handcuffs, and you can see him getting sat down along the wall, and he takes out a little baggie and he drops it. Baggie of drugs, probably coke or heroin or something like this. Is a white baggie. I've seen plenty of white baggies. And when he came into the store to pay with a counterfeit bill, he was just acting fucking fucked up. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever been around a tweaker, but you know when somebody's fucking tweaking. I was just at the gas station here in Sterling maybe a week ago, and I heard this motorized bicycle coming up behind me, and I turn around, man, and it's this kid I went to high school with. I haven't seen him in years. My age, I graduated with him. He was all fucking stacked up. And he walked over to me, man, and he's just so skinny, and he was fucking tweaking hard. And I got back in the car from getting the gas. My mom's like, "Is that so-and-so?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she goes, "Oh my God." She goes, "He okay?" I said, "No, man." I said, he's tweaking right now. And so all I'm saying is, when somebody's tweaking, and it can be scary. I used to be in banking when I was 21, 22. Well, actually from the age of 19 to 20, 22. I was in banking, and I worked in a ghetto-ass part of Rockford, Illinois, Church Street. And we would get a lot of tweakers that would come in to cash their checks on Fridays or whatever, the first and the third of the month with their SSI or SSA. And a lot of them would be fucking twacked out. They'd be tweaking hardcore. And so we used to have an on-guard, off-duty police officer on guard at the bank. And there's been times when these tweakers have freaked out. And it's fucking like you're scared. You can be scared, like super scared. And so I get it. And all that this dude was saying that happened is the clerk, who was a younger person, I think he had just started, called the cops because he's like, "Yo, this dude just gave me fake money, and now he's outside of the store like tweaking," and it's weird and scary. And that's why the cops showed up. But then the media is not telling you that. The media is not explaining this to you. And that's all that Candace is saying. It's not about being black. It's about, is there a bigger initiative? Who knows? Let's find out.
Family of George Floyd deserves justice for the way that he died. But I also am not going to accept the narrative that this is the best the Black community has to offer. For whatever reason, it has become fashionable over the last 5 or 6 years for us to turn criminals into heroes overnight. And it is something that I find to be despicable, and it is something that I refuse to stand by any longer. And I am not going to play a part in it, no matter how much pressure comes from Black liberals and Black conservatives as some token of people wanting you to believe that this is the only way you can be Black, is you have to say this was wrong and that this person was amazing. I won't do that. George Floyd was not an amazing person. And as soon as this video hit the internet, I did just basic searches. Everyone jumped on it and was looking at the police officer, and everyone agrees that the police officer was wrong, and the police officer has been arrested. So that is not the reason I'm not discussing that, is because that is not something that has been misconstrued in the media. He has been turned into the devil that he is, and there is no reason for us to harp on that any longer, because white Americans are not uplifting Derek Chauvin as a victim or pretending that he's an amazing human being. But George Floyd is being uplifted as an amazing human being. For those of you who have not yet seen the clips and did not pursue or wait for more clips to come out, first and foremost, George Floyd at the time of his arrest was high on fentanyl and he was high on methamphetamine. This came back in both of his autopsy reports. If you pursue the 911 transcript, you can see the person describing somebody who is out of their mind high, and which is what made the person fearful, because he tried to, use a bill that I guess was a fake bill to purchase something, and then he was outside acting weird, and they, in their police call, said that this person was obviously distorted and on drugs. When he is put into handcuffs and is put against the wall, a baggie of what looks to be like cocaine or it's white. It's a white baggie that he drops onto the floor that you can see in an image. If you look up the clip, the media is refusing to circulate it. You can find it on Twitter. If you use DuckDuckGo and look up George Floyd baggie, you can watch the clip yourself with your own eyes. He had drugs on him at the time of his arrest. Now, barring all of that, nobody thinks that he should have died during this arrest, but what I find despicable to be is that everyone is pretending that this man lived a heroic lifestyle when he didn't. And I want to talk about what his lifestyle was leading up to this moment, and why I refuse to accept the narrative that this person is a martyr or should be lifted up in the Black community, and that we should be buying T-shirts with his name on it. Okay. So here we have, first and foremost, let's start from the bottom of his record. And by the way, I am not saying that if you have a record, you don't deserve a second chance. I think people get arrested and some people can serve time in prison. And I believe in second chances, but I do draw the line when it comes to second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth chances.
Now, this is very interesting because what she's going to do now is she's going to explain the numbers. If you guys aren't following somebody, if you guys want actually more numbers, fact-based, and this is what upsets so many people. This is why people get upset. You say you only get out of life what you accept. And a lot of people aren't willing to accept the numbers because it doesn't fit the narrative that is in their head. And that's not their fault, right or wrong necessarily, but it's just because anger and rage is a proactive emotion to being hurt. And so a lot of people, and what she is saying is that she finds that the lower part of the Black community that it has lots of crime and violence continues to stand up and go and cry out how they are the victims when they actually are ones that are causing most of the pain. And she's going to explain this by the numbers, but people don't like that. And if you admit the numbers, then all of a sudden you're a racist. And so what you got to understand, guys, is everybody has their own perspective. But if you're willing to just look at the facts, you'll see what the facts are. And she's going to share them right now.
1998, he spent 10 months in prison for theft with a firearm. That was the first prison stint that I could find on him. In 2002, he spent 8 months in prison for a cocaine offense. In 2004, just 2 years later, he spent another 10 months in prison for a cocaine offense. In 2005, he spent another 10 months in prison for having less than 1 gram of cocaine on him again. In 2007, and this was the biggest instant that I had that made me realize this was a horrible human being that I am not going to pretend was a good person. In 2005, a woman who was pregnant received.
Again, just to clarify, I am not sharing this to try to paint George Floyd as a bad person. You guys, if I could tell you how many baggies of cocaine I've had in my pocket over the years, like, I'm not, let he without guilt or sin throw the first stone. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm highlighting the fact of what Candace is saying, which is if you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. If you do criminal activities, you're going to get things like the bad things going to happen. If you have to be contacted by the police, like Met or by the police, you're probably not up to any good. Now, the bad thing about this, the thing that sucks the most, is not all police are bad. I will say that by and large, most cops are not like, they could use some tact. And a lot of them are kind of just assholes because of the way that, because of the nature of how they probably grew up with limitations, but that doesn't make them racist or bad people. And more cops than not are not racist. And more cops than not are actually smart and good people. It's just such a fucking stigma. And so why is it that you can say, that somebody can say, oh, whites are elite or cops are racist, but you can't say Black people are lazy? Like, if you take lazy actions, which is what she's explaining, the bottom half, which is every race. You can say that about white people, Asian people, Native American people. You can say that about every single person. But when people say these things, they only pick and choose the spots they want. And all Candace is saying, all I'm saying is, when we can learn to put down our swords and shields and realize that the details of our stories are all different, but it's all the same underlying emotion, how can we move towards that one love, one people?
Knock at the door. And she went to the door, and the person pretended to be someone that worked for the water department. So she opened her door and quickly realized that the person at her door did not work for the water department, and attempted to slam it. At the moment that she was attempting to slam it, a Ford pulled up, and another 5 men jumped out of the car, and one of which was George Floyd, came up to the door, and they forced their way inside to her home, inside of her home. Mind you, this woman is pregnant. At that point, George Floyd took out a gun and pressed it to her stomach. She was screaming, begging for her life, and he put her inside of her living room and instructed one of his criminal friends that was with him to watch her and to make sure she didn't leave the living room. So he was playing guard while they ransacked her home looking for drugs and money. They did not find drugs. They ended up taking, I believe, her wallet and her cell phone. Fortunately for her, her neighbor observed what was going on and caught the license plate of the people as they pulled off and called 911. And when 911 was able to, they were able to track down the car, of which George Floyd was the driver, and they arrested him. And 2 years later, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison for that instance. Now, you can say the media is portraying it like he was just getting his life together after, you know, being released in 2014 following that incident. He was just getting his life together and moved and was going to start afresh. I'd like to believe all of those things, and there's a gap, and he never got in trouble for 5 years until this incident when the police were called on him again. But you are defying common sense to believe that this person suddenly became an exemplary character, but happened to be high on fentanyl and methamphetamine, and trying to use a bill, a fake bill, to purchase something. And so, in my opinion, George Floyd was a criminal.
Okay, now real quick, she's just telling the story of George Floyd's background. I share some of the same sentiments with her, but this still doesn't make him guilty of or deserving of being killed. That he was murdered, and that's not fucking right. And the people that did that should face the justice that they deserve. I in no way, shape, or form condone racism of any kind. It's a despicable, disgusting act. So far, though, this has been very subjective. Now listen to what she's going to get into.
Criminal. And just because he was a criminal doesn't mean he deserved to die at the knee of a police officer. But it does mean that I am not going to play a part of the broken Black culture that always wants to martyr criminals, who wants to pretend they were these upstanding human beings that just wanted to help society, that just wanted to reach out and uplift society. And he has a rap sheet that is long, that is dangerous. He was an example of a violent criminal his entire life, okay? Up until the very last moment. Now, again, I want to be clear. This is not a defense for Derek Chauvin. No one that I have spoken to, no one in the news is defending Derek Chauvin. He is getting what he has coming to him. Okay, great. But why are we pretending that this criminal should be upheld as a citizen, as a martyr in Black America? A martyr for a fake narrative, by the way. Police brutality, racially motivated police brutality is a myth. Okay, so let's get into that. Not only are we using this death, right, and allowing it to cause these riots and protests, pretending this was some upstanding citizen in the Black community who was tackled down and killed for no reason, right? Not only are we allowing it to inspire riots in which Black people are dying, in which actual upstanding Black citizens are dying. Case in point, I'm sure you guys have all now seen David, the sheriff that just was shot and killed because he was trying to protect a pawn shop. Please look him up if you haven't seen it. I'm blanking on his last name.
So what she's talking about is David Dorn. For those of you who don't know, a few days ago, a decorated and honored retired police chief, years of exemplary service on the force, celebrated by everybody that knew him and worked with him, was retired, 77 years old, but, you know, just had that in him still. Couldn't quite get it at the itch to be a police officer out of his system. So he goes to work as a security guard for a pawn shop during the rioting in St. Louis. I'm blanking on the town, if that was it or not. See, this is part of my problem, right? And so David Dorn, the fucked up thing is that it was caught live on Facebook Live. So what happens is this guy is that the video starts, it's nighttime. This guy's laying on the sidewalk, this big old, kind of round belly. And you see this guy and he's laying flat on his back, and there's somebody standing over top of him screaming, oh my God, like, over some TVs, He's screaming, stay with me, OG, stay with me, OG, stay with me, OG. And this guy is he's laying on the sidewalk. You can see he's black. He's wearing a dark shirt. It's tucked in with pants. He looks like a fucking cop, right? His eyes are this big as he stares up, and his phone is still in his hand, lit up. And he's all stretched out, and his phone's lit up, like he's just sitting there. And underneath of him, on the sidewalk, under his back, is blood just starting to pour out of him. And this guy is not that the guy that was streaming it was wrong or anything. He just happened to be streaming what was going on, and then this happened. Okay. This guy is screaming, this man's going to die over some TVs. He didn't know the guy. Just think about that. Your dad, your grandpa, your uncle, your son, your brother, whatever, your nephew, laying there, hearing somebody screaming. This is how you're dying. You hear somebody screaming that you're dying alive, and this is how it goes. And you're thinking, your last conscious thoughts are like, wow, I'm dying for some TVs. Everything you've been through, all of those 77 years of service and things that he's done. But the media doesn't talk about David Dorn. The media is not talking about that, because it doesn't fit the media's narrative, okay? It doesn't fit the media's narrative, and we're going to get into this. But when you really start seeing like how the media is wiring us and programming us, and I make some very bold, like, this is the facts. You're going to go, holy shit, that's real? And I'm like, that's real. The media has been playing us, and that's all Candace is saying.
His first name is David, who was shot and killed for trying to protect a pawn shop from looters, an upstanding citizen, an actual head of he was the head of a police his entire life, 77 years old, did everything right? So we now have to kill upstanding Black citizens because a non-upstanding Black citizen, a career Black criminal, died. Now, did he deserve to die in that manner? No, I can't say.
Now think of the hypocrisy there. For the Black community who's actually, or even the white community who's standing there and telling us we're all racist. If we're all racist and stuff, if this is real, then why is there a big movement and protest and hashtags and media coverage for George Floyd, right? As being the people that the Black community has to rise up and stand against it. Why wouldn't it be David Dorn? Why instead, if you were the Black community that really cared about the Black rights and not just acting out in anger and wanting to be heard because you feel right and want to be validated, which is not unique to Black people. It's a human. It's human. That means you're human. Why wouldn't you want to prop up David Dorn? Let go of fucking the drug addict, violent criminal George Floyd and go, this is a man who exemplifies what it means to be an outstanding human being. And fucking it's a Black guy. Isn't that awesome? We told you. And then all of a sudden you start to see lots of Black leaders and people come out. Right. But it's always met with anger and rage. And that's why most of the Black community that's winning stays away from it, because like all people of all races, we don't want to see that. It's not that we don't believe in it. It's just that I'm not racist because I don't hang out with racist people. I don't see racism because I don't live in a racist fucking community. If I did, I would accept ownership for where I'm at and I wouldn't try to change it. I would just fucking move. I would move where it's not racism. You go, oh, Marshall, you're just turning your back on your neighborhood and all the people that need you. No. The people that need you and not turn my back on my neighborhood is going out and making something of myself and proving that you can play into the system and what the media wants you to do, which is to create hate and stay broke and poor and keep killing themselves. Or you can rise above that, surround yourself with people who are having success and having what you want in life, and then be able to go, hey, look, I proved it to you guys. Not only did I prove it to you, now I have the resources and the skill sets and knowledge to be able to change your life. Come aboard. And that's what you see with Marshal Gillen's show. That's what you see with Marshal TV. I now have a place where I can reach back for absolutely free and I can help people up. And all Candace is saying is that, listen, I used to be a violent drug addict. I just didn't go to prison, right? Like I've done all these things that George Floyd has done. And now I'm standing here going, look, if you accept ownership and accountability for your life, you don't have to be part of a statistic, which what I talked about yesterday. If your parents aren't divorced, you grew up in a 2-parent household, you're already, whether you're Black or white, you're significantly more likely to have success in America than people that come from a 1-parent household. Like, so, you know what I mean? There's so many statistics to justify the narrative. If you want to stay angry and mad, go ahead. But I'm not going to play that game. And that's what Candace is saying too.
No, he didn't deserve to die in that manner. But I will be damned if the rest of us upstanding Black citizens have to suffer because of this incident that rarely ever happens in America. So here are some numbers for you people that are still believing that police brutality is a real, racially motivated police brutality is a real thing. First and foremost, okay, you have a 25% higher chance as a violent white criminal of dying at the hands of a police officer than you do as a Black criminal. Last year, a total of 9 unarmed black men were killed by police officers, and 19 white men were killed by police officers. For those of you that aren't good at mathematics, right, you might be thinking, oh, but Candace, white people represent 60% of the population and Black people represent just 13% of the population. It doesn't matter what percentage of the population you represent. It matters what percentage of the violent criminal community you represent. And unfortunately, Black community commits a disproportionate amount of crimes compared to the white community. Let me tell you, 6% of the population, right? Black men, 6% of the population account for 44% of all murders in this country, according to 2008.
Okay, so the American population is made up of 6% Black males. Okay, 6% Black males. Of all the police deaths, they made up for 44% of all of them. Now, again, that's not racist. Those are just facts. Those are the facts and statistics of what happened. In Chicago, kids in the Black community are killing themselves at an alarming rate. I think it's the highest murder rate per capita, right? For like years in a row now. Nobody dies anymore. Nobody murders any more people than Black males murder Black males, period, by a staggering amount. But nobody's talking about that. We don't create t-shirts for the South Side of Chicago and demand change, right? Nah, because that hasn't been fed to us. Hasn't been fed to us like that. The media is telling sheep what to think, and then the sheep show up, they go, bah! And the louder that one sheep bahs their opinion, the other sheep goes, bahs their opinion. And all Candace is saying, yo, fucking wake up. Wake up and unplug and start to just ask yourself some better questions. It's not about being right or wrong, but like you can continue to fuel the hate, or you can look at statistics and go, wow, this shit's fucked up. Who's lying to us? And Candace and I are like, yo, the media and the politics are lying to you. Hollywood's lying to you. It's not real. You can unplug from that. You can still enjoy some of that stuff, but you can unplug from it. And when you do that and you accept accountability and ownership for your own life, that's when things change.
Statistics. That is what you call a gap. And yet white people who represent 60% of the population, we represent 13, Black men are 6%, only represent 50% of all the murders, right? That makes no sense. That makes no sense. A 6-point variation in a community where we are extreme minorities.
Okay, so just to give you a little context so you guys can understand the numbers, what she's saying, we are 13%. African Americans are 13% of the demographic, she's saying, of the makeup, 6% of which are Black males. Now, she's saying that 6% of Black males make up 44% of all murders in America, 44%. So just a little under half. 6% of the population makes up 44% of all murders. Now, she's saying that white Caucasian people in America make up 60% of the demographic. So 60% of America is white, 13% of America is Black. That's what she is saying. Now, of that, 6% of all murders are done. No, 44% of all murders are done by Black males, which represent 6% of the world. What she's also saying is that of the white people, 60%, 50% of all murders are done by white people. So white people murder more people than Black people, yes. But considering that 60% make up 50% and only 6% make up 44%, she's saying that's the 6-point difference. That's like unbelievable when you think about it. And it's not because cops are fucking killing people. In 2019, there was only 9 cops that were, 9 Black males that were killed. I'm not saying only, God, Jesus, I'm not saying that. It's terrible. And I absolutely don't mean that. Nobody deserves to die, no matter if they're a criminal or not. Even I don't believe I don't believe in the death penalty. Just don't believe in that. But what I'm saying is that 9 and prayers, T's and P's up to their family and their friends who are left behind. And I hope that their siblings or anybody else involved in that, is finding the strength through that loss to transform their life. Like, I sincerely pray for that. That's what I want for everybody. I want everybody to win. You guys fucking know that. But what I'm saying, right, is like when you look at what the numbers don't lie. And so, well, let's just get back to the video. I have a lot more to say, but let's get back to the video.
We commit 50% of all violent offenses, evenly split, and we're only 13% of the population, okay? So we have a lot more encounters with police officers. And don't say the police officers are coming around because we're Black. I'm talking about violent criminals. I'm talking about murder, 44% of murders, okay? You want to talk about real statistics? The police officers have way more to be fearful of in the Black community than the other way around, okay? We commit, on average, a police officer is 18 and a half times more likely to be killed by a Black person than the other way around, okay? So this entire narrative is complete smoke and mirrors. It's all made up. It's just election fodder. It's white versus Black because it's an election year, not because Black Americans are suffering at the hands of police officers more than white Americans. Do some police officers do the wrong thing? Yes. I don't think there's anybody in the world who has not encountered a police officer and thought this person is an absolute jerk who is power tripping, whether you are Black or white. We know they exist. And we know they're always going to exist, by the way, because they're human beings. And sometimes human beings suck. In fact, if you want to attack a community for accidental slayings or brutality, did you know that doctors accidentally kill 250,000 people every year because of mistakes? Do you know that there's been doctors that have been arrested for being serial killers that just were killing people because they wanted to? Do we protest and boycott doctors? Do we assume all doctors are horrible human beings because some doctors are? Or do we realize that society is not perfectible? People suck in every profession. It is no excuse to paint society with a broad brush. It is certainly no excuse to accept a Democrat narrative, okay, that Black people are being disproportionately hunted down by police officers because of the color of their skin. You want to know the best way to avoid not being brutalized by a police officer is to limit the amount of encounters you need to have with them, especially when it comes to violent crimes. Okay, I am not going to stand for this continual bottom-feeding narrative of us martyring people that have had 5, 6, 7 stints in prison and then pretending they were upstanding heroes to our community. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Excuse my language. It's absolute bullshit, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of having to play pretend. I'm tired of sitting here and being called a coon or an Uncle Tom because I won't play this bottom-feeding game with you. If you want to hang up posters of criminals on your wall and talk about them as your martyrs, do it. Do it. You can do it. Kobe Bryant was my idol, okay? I'll keep a photo of Kobe Bryant. You can keep one of George Floyd and pretend he was an upstanding human being that just once or twice put a gun across a pregnant woman's belly. Could you imagine that woman right now?
Moment of silence for Kobe Bryant, Gianna, and all the people we lost in the plane crash. I don't know about you guys, but real talk, January 26th, the day that came on live, I was watching some sports thing I can't remember, Pro Bowl, and literally changed my life forever, man. I just incredible to watch what Kobe became after basketball. I mean, like the father and the entrepreneur he became, the leader he became for the world, not just for the Black community, but for the world. Like, the world mourned the day that we lost him. And it's just it gives me chills even now, still to this day. I mean, I remember looking at that and I was like, what in the fuck are you doing? Just sitting in Illinois, fucking feeling bad for yourself, licking your wounds, justifying not taking action because you're like, oh, I've been hurt. Well, I'll get back out there. The day that Kobe Bryant died was like, fuck this, I got to go. And that's how literally the Marshal Gillen show started. It's how Marshall TV started. It's how Marshall Palooza became about. The day that we lost Kobe changed my entire life forever. And so, I don't know where you were at January 26th that you found that out, but I'll tell you what, January 26th, 2020, when Kobe Bryant died, I thought that was about to be the craziest thing that ever happened. Little did I know that 2020 was about to be out of fucking control. But let's get back to Gianna, to Candace.
Black woman, by the way, right? Watching everybody pretend this person was an upstanding human being who just at the age of 42 and 5 prison stints was going to get his life together. I mean, it's embarrassing. We are embarrassing in that regard, right? This is why we have a cycle and a toxic culture, because nobody wants to tell the truth in Black America. It's so easy to be a victim. It's so easy to ask white people to bow down and apologize and do all these things for us. It's crap. It's crap. It's a lie. It's a farce. Our biggest problem is us, okay? It's why we don't talk about it when Black on Black crime happens. It's why we don't talk about it when 40 Black people are killed in one weekend during Memorial Weekend in Chicago. We don't want to talk about any of that stuff. We don't want to talk about Baltimore. We don't want to talk about New Jersey. We don't want to talk about any of these places where Black people are being slaughtered by other Blacks, because that would mean that we had to be personally accountable, right? That would mean personal responsibility. We don't do personal responsibility in our community. We don't do it. We blame white people, right? We only point a camera to white people.
Now, I want to pause real quick because she's saying we only do that in the Black community. That's not true. She's expressing it through her lens and she's speaking directly to her community, which is amazing. I think she's doing this perfect. I mean, it has 80 million views, right? Almost 81, maybe even more than that, million views. But I do want to say that that's not exclusive to the Black community. That's what people do, okay? That's what human beings do. And that's why it's so important, you guys, that we're telling our stories from our own perspective. Because if you're watching the show or listening to it, then you're in a place in your life where you're either doing that and you want to get better, you want to take it to the next level, or you're at a place in your life where you want to be doing this and you just haven't started yet. Well, guess what? This is me starting. This is me taking action for all of us. It's not about me. It's about us. And it's about how can we become the change within ourselves that we want to see in the world. And so I'm not saying that Candace is wrong. I'm just saying that I want, for me, and what I want to portray to you guys is like, listen, this is not unique to the Black community. This is human community. And it's a choice. It's a decision on if you're going to play victim in your life to the world and the market and the circumstances, or if you're going to go, fuck that, I can still win. Now, if you look, I'm not saying that your hurt and your anger is not justified. Probably is, but how much longer are you going to hold on to it? And will that continue to serve you? I don't know.
When they do something, even though we do it at a way higher rate to ourselves, right? We celebrate our drug dealers. We're the only community, right, that would ever create hashtags to free people from prison because they committed crimes, like free Meek Mill, free this rapper, free this rapper. How hard is it to not spend multiple times in prison? How difficult is that? Is that too hard for us? Is that way too high of a mountain for us to scale to do the right thing, to be upstanding citizens?
Shouldn't be hard to stay out of jail.
That is the call to action that I have for Black America with Blexit. Like, why do we keep fulfilling this narrative? What do you think the perception of us, by the way, is on the outside? You ever look at the comments? You ever go into like an anonymous blog and see what people say? Oh, just Black people being Black people. I see those racist comments. Oh, just Black people got to riot. Black people got to be Black people. You know how they are. Oh, just Black people being ignorant. That is the perception when people get to be anonymous.
And you know what sucks about that is that when she's talking about those type of Black people, they make up such a minuscule part of the Black community overall. They make up such a little minuscule part of the Black community overall. Like most Black people are not like that. Like almost no Black people are like that. There's just a very small community that is like that. And isn't that sad? Because that is life. And that's why negativity, and it's so important, you guys, that we always steer away from the negativity, but we look at things with compassion, acceptance, and forgiveness. And then if it's a disagreement, finding joy and the ability to being alive, because that contrast is being alive. We talk about this all the time. But what I want to say is that you got to understand is that, well, hold on a second. Let me see this.
Talk about us. That's what they think about us.
Okay. I forgot where I was going with that. And so basically it's like one bad apple ruins the whole bunch. Okay. So we can do whatever we want. We can say whatever we want, but just know, Gillen Gang, that every time we add even a little tiny pebble to the pond, it creates ripples that are heard louder than the people that are actually being upstanding. Negativity. Everybody loves to spread the negativity. Nobody loves to spread the positivity for some reason, right? It's like we've been conditioned not to, and we can get into that another episode, but because there's a whole trigger on why subconsciously we've been programmed and how that happens, like the science and mechanisms behind that. But all she's saying is that this is how the Black community is, but this is every community. This is good versus evil. And that little bit of evil will always start to be louder than the good. That's because not enough people are standing up and saying the good. So again, it's not unique to the Black community, but she is addressing her community.
They think that we are the kind of people that will forever uphold criminals as the martyrs of our society, that we will never take account for the things that we do wrong, right? That we don't have it within us to educate ourselves to get ahead. And that for those of us that actually do it, well, we get called coons, right? You got Condoleezza Rice, she's a coon. Larry Elder, he's a coon. Dr. Ben Carson, brain surgeon, first ever to perform the surgery of splitting twins that are connected by the head. He's a coon, right? What a loser he is. What a stupid guy he is. Kanye West says he's not going to be told to do it because of the color of his skin. He's a coon. He's lost. He's in the sunken place. The sunken place. That's where we all are, right? Because we demand more and we will get more out of this society because we're going to get ahead, right? That's what's going to happen. We're going to get ahead. Black conservatives get ahead because we don't subscribe to this narrative. Because you're not going to catch me outside trying to grab a TV pretending that it's because a martyr named George Floyd got killed. Okay? I'm a big believer that no matter what color you are You do stupid things, you win stupid prizes, okay? We have to do better. We have to teach our kids better, or we're not going to get ahead, right? Anyways, this is just a rant because I have been feeling super, super, super annoyed at these depictions in society. I have no apologies here to make. George Floyd is not my martyr. He can be yours. That's all I have to say to Black America.
Damn. So there she goes, you guys. That was a really interesting take. I'm curious, Gillen Gang, if you guys are watching this live or on replay, comment below. Let me know what you guys think. What is your expression to that? Well, how does that make you feel? What does that bring up for you? Let's have a conversation about it. We're going to take a real quick break, but before we do, I'm going to show you an interesting video. I'm sorry. While we do, I'm going to show you an interesting video of something that happened in 2007 that I want to kind of start to frame for you. I want to get an understanding of how the media starts to portray us as we move into the last part of this show. So if you guys are watching, you guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. This show literally wouldn't be anything without you guys. And so if you guys would love it, love the show yourselves, just give me a heart below. Let me know that you guys are tuning in. Let me know that you're watching. Let me know this is making a difference for you guys. And I'll join us shortly after the break as we come back and discuss the Candace Owens video and really how the media portrays it and what the facts really are about what we've been shown.
Impeach Bush, all right? Also, were you a member of Stolen Road College, Bush? Were you in the same secret society?
That's all right. Let me answer this question.
Excuse me, were you arrested? Whoa. Is anybody watching this? I'm not doing this. You're arresting me. What have I done? What have I done? Get away from me, man. Get away from me. Get off of me. What did I do? What did I do? Get off of me. What did I do? What did I do? Help! Help! Put your hand on your back. Shut me, man. Get off of me. I didn't do anything. Help me. Help me. Help! They're arresting me. You not You'll be tased if you let me go. I'll walk out of here. Let me go. Go on, you son of a. Do it now. Put your hands behind your back.
I think if everybody discussed this situation,
You'll have options.
I'll answer this question. And, unfortunately, he's not available to come up here and swear me in as president.
Why are they arresting me? Can someone do something here?
Let me just see. Because it's a very important question.
What did I do? Get off me. You know what? Get off me. Get the f off me, man. I didn't do anything. Don't tase me, bro. Don't tase me. I didn't do anything. Ow! 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 Let me go! No! Let me go! Ow! Oh my God! Why did you What did I do? What did I do?
Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Marshal Gillen Show. We are getting into the second half of the show. You guys, in the first half here on the Marshal Gillen Show.
And they allowed, they allowed this target and it just went.
Boom. Had another video playing. In the first half of the show, you guys, we covered the Candace Owens video and really kind of broke that down step by step and what she meant. And I kind of want to give you guys an opportunity to share, what is it that you guys thought? What did you guys think? Look, it's interesting because Catherine says very insightful video by Candace. Now, again, nobody's saying it's right or wrong, but when the numbers are presented in a way for us to actually stop and think about it, it's time to maybe ask some better questions. Like, are the results that our country is getting right now, are they very good? Because right now the country's burning to the ground. Okay, Minneapolis is debanning their police department. They're going to like a community-based, and I don't want to speak too much on this yet because I got to get clearer details. I was just reading about this morning, but they're going to more of a community-based approach to policing the community. I don't understand it fully, so I don't want to talk about it, but I don't understand. New York Mayor de Blasio yesterday announced that he's defunding the police. Okay, now the headline sounds more It sounds worse than it is. What he means by defunding is that they're going to take most of the fun. They're going to take a lot of funds from the cops. They're going to redistribute it into youth programs, into schools, and things like this. I agree with maybe taking some of the police allocations away, but it's tough. It's tough because that means less cops on the street in the dangerous areas. It's interesting. It's going to be it's tough. I'm not smart enough to figure this out, you guys. I'm just saying this is what's going on. And so he's just talking about reallocating funds from police to youth programs in schools. I do not want to see money dumped into schools. 100%. I think the education system works perfectly. I think it works exactly how it was designed to work. I think it's outdated. It was designed to build factory workers and robots. People aren't like that. And with communication, information, and distribution available right now, we don't have to live that way anymore. And so I think it's interesting. I've been saying since COVID hit, education will never go back to the way that it was. I think parents have an opportunity to see how easy it is to teach their kids from home if they're willing to accept accountability and ownership and get their shit together and not see their kids as a nuisance. But give them the platform. I mean, listen, you could travel and be free as a parent. You guys could fucking go anywhere, and your kids could just learn for like 3 hours a day on an online portal, on a phone, a tablet, or a computer. Like, it's so simple. They could report once a quarter to an event, a 3-day retreat, something like this with their classmates so they can get social interaction through development, right? Like, okay, cool. How can we create an online curriculum? And then we just meet up a few times a year. Like, it's so simple. And the money goes away. Like, you don't need physical buildings and all these places for people to report, and the transportation and the security and feeding. Like, yeah, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. So let's be honest, like, the education system works perfect, but it's not, it doesn't work good. Now, it's interesting because when we start thinking this as a whole, it's like, okay, well, why is it designed like that, Marshall? Well, because people that I always refer to as the Illuminati. Well, I refer to them as the permanent government, the establishment, right? The Illuminati, the cabal, the far left. Basically, it's the people that are literally pulling the strings of the whole world. Damn, you guys, this bug bite is gnarly, and it itches so bad. You guys have any home remedies that I can do for that? I don't put shit on me, so it's weird. But yeah, anyways, let's get back to. I just keep seeing it. I'm like, damn, look at that thing. It's gnarly. It's like my throat chakra is like. Anyways, just thought of something. But we'll say that maybe for an episode tomorrow. Maybe we can talk about healing and such. Back to what we're talking about. So it's interesting what Candace started in on and what I've been saying for a long time, which is like certain things don't add up with everything that's been going on. Like, let's move into this. Certain things don't add up with everything that's been going on. And I've been saying this since the beginning of COVID. I've been saying that this doesn't feel right, and it's interesting the things that we're moving in now and the narratives that we move in now, because we've been hearing a lot about this far left Democrat, like the people that are actually controlling. Now, not saying that all Democrats are part of this, but the ones that are by and large Democrats. Now, however, it's interesting because you just saw George W. Bush day or two ago say that, who's a Republican, say that he's not supporting Donald Trump. But we all fucking know George W. Bush, his family, George Sr., they're part of that shit, right? And so you start hearing these things. It's like, okay, well, if you guys don't know what that video was you saw on commercial break, that was a video from an incident that happened in 2007, okay? So September 17th, 2007, John Kerry, who was running for president at the time, U.S. Senator John Kerry, visited Florida campus in Gainesville it was like Constitution Day, something like this. It was an event that was hosted by the Speakers Committee, some kind of a Speakers Bureau at Florida. So the University of Florida brings in John Kerry during his whole campaign thing, so it fits the narrative, right? And this guy who's part of his name is Andrew Miller, or Andrew Meyer. Andrew Meyer, he was 21 years old at the time. He was an undergraduate of mass communication. His major was mass communication. And so literally he's just asking a question, but a controversial one, but he's literally asking the fucking question that every single 21-year-old who's on the campus of Florida who hears John Kerry is coming, they all heard about secret societies. They're 21 years old, you guys. Come on. They're 21-year-old. They're inquisitive. They're having fun. They're pushing the envelopes. They're wanting to know the answers to these questions. And so here we are, 2017. Andrew Meyer walks up to the podium and he's being loud and boisterous. And at the very end of his thing, because he asked a couple questions at the very end, he's like, in Skull and Bones. And with that, white kid at a predominantly white school, right, is taken by all white security guards and cops. All right. Now, this kid, right or wrong, was exercising his right to free speech. You guys saw the videos. He's exercising his right to free speech, and he just stands up and he says, yo, man, like, you know, why are you guys securing me? What did I do wrong? Let me go and I'll walk out of here. And then you see the guy start tasing him as he's screaming. Now, it's funny, Miguel, I know I can't help it. I know I can't help it. Like, Miguel's like, don't tase me, bro. Because later it became a parody where people are like, don't tase me, bro. Don't tase me. It was like, it was as meme culture was truly being born. And so it's very, very interesting because that was police brutality. That wasn't right. Now, that man didn't lose his life, but that was a pretty disturbing video. Why wasn't the white community outraged? Why wasn't the white community outraged over the police brutality that happened to that man and the strengths and the force and excessive force that was used against him? You know why? Because not that it was right or wrong, but that little kid at 21 years old being a little dickhead, right? He could have walked away and he didn't. Now, that does not excuse what happened to him because it was fucking disgusting. White on white, same thing. I don't like that. I think that was excessive force. But at the end of it, he's leaving it up to Moen here outside the Gillen studio. What's up, bro? Holla to you and the working man doing his job. I dig that, man. Good for you, bro. It's the maintenance man that does everything around my mom's apartment complex. Dude, blessing for that man to be able to have his job during all this when so many people didn't. And you know what? Honestly, straight up real quick, just want to say a quick prayer for all those people that are still going through it, for all the business owners that are out of business, that have lost money. I want to say a prayer to all the business owners who have lost stuff because of the rioting and looting. I want to say a prayer for all the rioters and looters. I want to say a prayer for all the protesters, peaceful and otherwise. I want to say a prayer for all of our leaders, every single one of them. And I want to say a prayer for not only the citizens of America, Americans, but I also want to say a prayer for everybody in the world, because I know that we're all going through it and we are one love and one people. And Lord, I just ask that you look over us and you continue to put into our hearts, especially the people that are listening and hearing your message. And my message right now is a conduit to your message, that you allow them to have more acceptance and relatability in their life, and you give them an opportunity to open their heart and expand their mind so they don't have to go through the anger and the rage that they feel, but they can step into joy and love and find contrast in just existing. I know that I ask a lot of you, Lord, but I show up to give a lot because of you. And so I just pray that you make your thoughts my thoughts and your words my words and your actions my actions, Lord. And I know that we're going to do good. In your name we pray, amen. Sorry, just seemed like a good moment to pray. And so I just want to say, you know, like in that moment, that kid was being a dickhead. Like he was being a little shit. You know what I mean? Oh, sorry, I got sidetracked. I took some vitamins per the usual, and the comments are coming in on how to heal this. But what I'm saying is that guy was playing dumb game, got a dumb prize. But you didn't hear the white community jump up in arms. It was one of the first viral internet videos that went on. Instead, they made a fucking t-shirt about it, a joke about it. That's not right. I don't think that's right. But again, you do whatever you think. But what I'm saying is, like, you understand the narratives. The media didn't push that. They weren't telling white community to be outraged or any of that. And even if they had, white community would have been like, that little fucking privileged shithead. Like, you know, like, sorry, Andrew Meyer, you probably grew up to be a real great guy, and that didn't deserve to happen to you. But you shouldn't have been showing up like a little dick. That's what happens when you show up in Florida like a little prick, right? Like, come on, like, that's the whole thing. And so, but nobody's saying that. Now, it's interesting because, again, I want to show you guys one more video. I want you guys to know that I'm not just spinning the narrative. But actually, you know what? No, we're not going to show this video. Nope, not showing this video. Let's do this instead, because it's of a man being murdered, and I don't want that on here. I haven't watched the George Floyd video, and so I don't want to do that. But I will think what's interesting, let's pull something up here, is that people aren't talking about this right now, okay? People aren't talking about Tony Timpa. Now, you guys a lot of you may not even know who Tony Timpa is. May not even know who that is, right? Well, Tony Timpa is a white male. I think he was 32 years old at the time, and it was August 10th, 2016 when he was murdered by the Dallas Police Department. Murdered by the Dallas Police Department. Like, right there, boom, just murdered, okay? He was later shown to have special needs. He was calling out for his mom, and he was shown to be off his medications that he uses to control it. Like, he just wasn't on it. He wasn't being a violent criminal or doing any of this. Now, the body cam, actually, what we should do for context is we should just at least pull up the beginning of the video so you can get some context. But I'm not going to play the whole thing because I don't want to show a man dying on my show. Let me pull up the... oh, I realized we don't have share screen. Chrome window, Tony Timpa. Boom. Look at the internet. Like, information is at all you guys got to do is just ask questions, and you guys are going to get better answers. So this is a video about from the body cam.
Tony's the only thing we can get. Help me! Tony!
Hey, get on the ground.
No, you're gonna kill me. You're gonna kill me. You're gonna kill me. Yeah.
This is a real video. This is a real video. August 16th, 2010, Tony Timpa. Okay? We're not going to watch the whole thing. Just want you guys to see this.
Hey, Tony. Tony.
Relax, man.
No.
Get you some help, Tony. Relax, man. Stay down. Tony.
He's freaking out.
Tony.
Ah!
Just keep him down. That's too much. Stop it.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to show you what happens after that. You get the picture. Okay. So that's Tony Timpa in 2010, freaking out on mental illness, severe mental illness, off his medications, wasn't high on anything, nothing like this. And police restrained him for 13 minutes. I put a knee in his back, and they laughed and joked while it was happening. They laughed and joked about sending him to a psychiatric ward that was a local psych ward. They laughed and joked as he went unconscious and said, "Oh man, ha ha ha! I think you just killed him." And then when the paramedics got there and they loaded him in the back of the van, the paramedics immediately, if you guys watch the video, are like, "What the fuck? This dude is dead." And they're looking at the cops like, and the cops on the body cam like, "Oh shit!" Right? Where was the media outrage when that happened? Where was the media outrage calling for mental health reforms and better mental health care and better mental health awareness in that moment? Because that man was killed because his mental health awareness was not communicated. The cops were freaked out. None of that was right, but that's the reality. And mental health kills so many people in this country. A lot of you viewers and listeners, like me, suffer from mental health on a daily basis, and you have to create the habits and the rituals, and you have to surround yourself with people that allow you to be able to overcome that. I understand that clearer than anybody. I tried to kill myself when I was 23, right? Like, we know this. And so what I'm saying is that where was the outrage then? Where was the community and the media to protest Tony Timpa, right? And so what you guys have got to understand is that the sheeple of the country, of the world, little pause for the hydration cause. The media of the world wants to incite these things in you. They want to do this. The media wants to steer a narrative that keeps you scared, that keeps you going, what the fuck, that keeps you afraid and against each other. You know, there's people that are mad. There's people that are putting together these riots, you guys. The people protest one thing, yeah, but there's people that are being paid to show up and being paid to do that. Okay, that are being paid, led and funded by people that are well-known racists out in the open, but then can quickly dismiss it because the platforms, the media are so big and the sheeple don't know any different, that if you guys fact check this, not only can you not find it anymore, it's being shown across every platform as being a fake quote. Made up. That was made up. You can't find that anywhere, they say. It's been, even if you go to my post that I made last week, it fact checks it and tells it it's fake. Okay? Now, that's not a fake quote. It used to be able to find it. Now you can't. Nowhere on the internet can you find it anymore. Now it's being said, oh, that's a fake meme. And even for you people who believe in me but are still a little iffy on it, you guys have been so programmed by the media for so long that if you see this, you're going to go, yep, I knew it. Yep, Marshall's. Even if you like and believe me, okay? It's not your fault. That's just the truth because the media is so programmed. But that is well known. So now they're able to hide out in the open. The globalists, they're really Satanists is what they are, you guys. They're able to hide out in the open and really just fucking spew this shit because they own everything. You guys, we talk about this all the time. Almost 100% of the media is owned by one of 10 companies, which is essentially one of 10 people. Yes, there's boards of directors and all this, but it's like one of 10 people, okay? Straight up, man. Like, we know this. We know this. And so when we see that the media wants to pick up certain things and not the other things, that's all Candace was saying. She's talking about the Democrats. I'm not saying that this is right or wrong, but it was kind of it's kind of funny when you are woke and you do know what's going on. It's kind of funny. This meme, it shows that Democratic cities and then Democrats, and then the guy shoots him, boom, he's dead. And he said, why would Trump do this, right? And it's so funny because when the narratives of the news is steering everything to be Trump's fault, and it's quite to the contrary. But anyways, we're not going to get into that. We're going to talk a little bit more about the media. Check this out. This is what the media is telling you guys right now, telling you and I about COVID, okay? They're telling us right now, this is from Contra Costa, which is a county in Northern California. This is, it says right up there in the top corner, for those you can't see, it says facts and fiction. In the very top left-hand corner, where most of you can't see it, and probably a little emblem in the middle of it, it says coronavirus, and it says facts over fiction. That's what it says, facts over fiction. It says right here, you guys, that social outdoor gatherings of up to 12 people, those are okay. Anything over 12 people for a social outdoor gathering is not okay. Protest of up to 100 people, though, those are okay. You say, so you can only be outside in a social gathering of up to 12 people unless it's the protest. Unless it's the protest, then you can be up to 100. Childcare, campus in groups of 12, okay? All this stuff. The media is officially pushing the narrative right now that it's okay to be outside protesting, all right? Protesting of up to 100 people. But if you're not protesting, then it's not safe to be in a group of bigger than 12. This is just facts. Now, you might be going, Marshall, well, who's saying that? Who's they? Media is not enough. Who are they reporting on? Well, they are about 1,500 well-respected health experts in the world who have signed off on saying that these are the official guidelines. Okay? So let's just take that down a step further. It's okay to go outside and protest as long as there's not 100 people or more. If there's 101 people, that's illegal. And not only is it illegal, if there's 101 people, you guys, the media is telling you that you now run the risk of contracting coronavirus. But if it's less than 100, like this, the chances of contracting coronavirus go way fucking down if you're protesting. However, if you're outside for a social gathering, camping, doing exercising, going to school, going to church, you are highly at risk of contracting the coronavirus if you're with a group of people of 13 or more. If you're at a group of 12 people or more, you're at church, dude, chance of getting coronavirus, not much. Okay, so I hope that clears up some confusion. Hopefully that clears up some confusion on what's going on right now, okay? However, you guys probably thought it was that easy, okay? Because the media, listen, they're going, listen, what you've got to do, what you've got to continue to do is you've got to continue to close your business and stay indoors unless it's a protest. So the narrative is clear that the media and the health experts of America, they say and they condone staying or going out to protest, but if you're not protesting, you should definitely keep your businesses closed and you should definitely stay inside unless it's a protest. Okay. The news this is Fox News. This is from Fox's real life. Snap it. This is whatever the fuck you call it, a picture. Do that screenshot. Okay. Now it's not that clear. It's not that clear, Gillen gang, because there's another niche. There's another twist to this because the media says, and this is from the health experts of America. Health experts support anti-police protest. They support it. Okay, there is a bigger group of people, of Satanists, that are leading the far left Democrats on a mission to discredit Donald Trump and everything he's done for this country by discrediting him through the mass media and the years of programming because they want to steal the election so they can have the seat in the White House so they can do their plan, so they can execute their plan, which is to take over the world. I've made videos about this. So what the health experts support and this is all constructed. Okay, this is all being constructed. None of this is real. It's all being constructed to literally make us kill ourselves. And those who don't kill themselves off will be the ones that submit to the control. Think Hunger Games. Hollywood has for years been used. The global elite has been using Hollywood for years to program people. You notice how these movies happen, and a couple of years later, like, oh my God, that fucking really happened. That's crazy. All right, it's not by mistake. It's by design. So health experts support anti-police protests. As public health advocates, we do not condemn the gatherings as risky for COVID-19 transmission. So that's just their fanciful way of saying, listen, if you guys go out and you guys are protesting the police, we don't think it's risky. So we approve that. That's what they're saying. We do not condemn these gatherings as risky for COVID-19 transmission, which basically, in another way, they're saying we support police protest. We're saying that you run a low risk of getting coronavirus if you're protesting the police. However, This should not be confused with a permissive stance on all gatherings, particularly protest against stay-home orders. Whoa, what the fuck? Okay, so what the health experts are saying is it's okay to go out and protest. You run a very low risk of contracting the coronavirus if you're out protesting the police. If you're not out protesting the police, you need to stay home and you cannot open your business, or you run a high risk of contracting coronavirus. And also, additionally, if you're out protesting, but if the protest that you're protesting for is about the stay-home order or against what we're doing, well then we don't condone that, because now you're at a risk of contracting coronavirus. Do you understand what they're fucking doing, you guys? The media is steering these narratives. Let's check this out. I shared this on my Facebook page the other day. It actually got a whole lot of views, but I want to share it with you guys. You guys can see over here. I'm going to make this bigger for a second. That's what she said. And so you see the post here on my personal page. I posted right here, and I gave some details, and I posted some videos. So let's take a look at this, because this is what's going on. Here's what we weren't told last week. Okay, last Tuesday during the blackout, whatever the fuck thing that was pushed, Hillary Clinton lost her appeal in court. Hillary Clinton was in court on Tuesday. She lost her appeal, and she must testify under oath in regards to her 33,000 missing emails about pizza and pizza parties. Okay, for those of you who don't know what that is, the pizza and pizza parties are code for child pedophilia, and it's well documented online. You can find it, although be careful. Literally just saying that. Wednesday of last week, Obama's former deputy attorney, Rod Rosenstein, however you say that, Rosenstein, testified in court that there was wrongdoing by Obama in a illegal and fake probe into Trump and Russia collusion. So it's now been well documented, and not only that, admitted under testimony, under federal, under oath, that that whole entire narrative that Trump and the Russians were doing something together is completely fake. It was completely fabricated. And not only that, President Obama signed off on it, saw it, agreed with it, signed off on it, about lying to completely fabricated. There's nothing that pointed to that being real at all. Nothing. Not only that, now it's been admitted that it was completely fabricated and concocted just to try to bring down the president so Democrats could keep the seat. Oh, nope. No. Like Kevin Hart. No. I just went backwards. Now I got to go find this again. Hey, look, that's us streaming live. If you guys aren't watching us, you guys should be. Mayor de Blasio defunding the police, talking about me. You guys should really be friends with me. There's the Sunday show. Oh, you guys, check this out. I'm having a Labor Day vacation getaway. You guys can go and check it out, but it's going to be pretty badass. This is the place that we're going to be staying at. It's fucking legit. Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay, so let's look at this again. I didn't mean to press it at Obamagate. And then on Thursday, what happened was the Senate voted to subpoena Obama White House and Department of Justice officials in the Obamagate scandal. And what they did is they voted to do it. And so now all those people are going to see their day in court, including Obama, I'm sure, and Michelle Obama eventually. These should be some of the biggest stories on the news. But the mainstream media, far-left Democrats, has been doing everything they can to take your attention off of it all. That's because that's because George Soros funds the Democratic Party, which is true. The same guy who created and funded Black Lives Matter to intentionally incite race wars. I can't wait until Obamas and Clintons are behind bars and the world can start to wake up. I still feel that way. And remove the veil over their eyes that's been programmed into them since they were born. Me too, but I just chose to take the veil off my eyes. You guys can see here, I said, this is not a white versus black issue. This is not a cops versus civilian issue. This is not a left versus right issue. This is a motherfucking good versus evil, y'all, at a spiritual level. You have to understand that about 100% of all media is owned by 10 companies. Yeah, there's like hundreds of channels and outlets, but all controlled by essentially 10 people. And they're all owned by George Soros. So I'm calling to you, Gillen Gang. It's time to unplug from the fear and the rage of the fake news that they use to literally and purposely control you like a puppet. Because it's all not as it seems. Like, it's not as it seems. It's not all like that. I believe that the BLM movement is a false flag. So is COVID. And they're starting to expose themselves day by day by day. You know, I mean, it's out there. If you're choosing to open up and look at it. Now, most people, it's hard for them to believe because they're like, bro, I can't subscribe to that. I can't believe that they would lie to us. Okay. Let's see what Lauren says. Now graduations are okay in New York of up to 150 people. I don't get it. We can't have funerals or weddings, right? So my mom works she's a nurse. She works in long-term care. It's been terrible. She works with a lot of dementia patients who haven't been able to understand what the fuck is going on. So every day they can't even open the windows. They haven't been outside. They haven't been outside in days because the government, they're trying to kill these people off. Literally the restrictions that they've set up are killing these people. People are dying. One guy that she has right now, he's not fucking eating. I don't even know how he's alive. He's been alive for like a week and he's purposely not eating because he doesn't, his wife is dead. Yeah, his daughter can't take care of him. So he has to go to a home. And he doesn't want to live anymore. So he's just been willing himself not to eat. And I don't even know how he's hanging on yet. It's breaking my mom's heart. It's breaking all the nurses' hearts. And he just doesn't want to put his daughter through. He'd rather die. But not only that, like his daughter can't go see him right now in the nursing home because of COVID, which is not real. People are walking around fucking, COVID is not real. It never was real. And I'll gladly fucking get into it. Not get in as an argument, but I'll gladly expand on it for anybody that wants to have a talk about that. It wasn't real from the beginning. I said it wasn't real from the beginning. Shit, my mom told me fucking days before I even was in. My mom just was like, she's not even dialed into any of this shit. Like she doesn't know about, it's not her shit. But she's like, she's smoking a cigarette. She's like, that shit's not real. She's like, yeah, something's not right. She's not right about that. That's not real. And that was like March before all this even broke loose. So that's just what I believe. Okay. So you really got to be willing to take a step back. And that's all that Candace is saying. That's all that people like me are saying is that instead of just being a headline clicker or whatever, right? Like watch and just seeing my hat or listen to a little tiny part of my video and then like being outraged and like, you know, saying all these things, dude. It's interesting, right? Wow, that's cool. So check this out. There's a guy who there's a young man who I've been mentoring. Sorry, this guy just got this message in live as I'm going here. There's a young man I've been mentoring. I'm not going to show his name. I was going to do, actually, let me do this. This just happened. Can't see his name. No, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to read it to you. Just came in. I don't need to prove it to you guys. Believe me or you won't. So there's a young kid I've been mentoring from somewhere in Africa. Presley, shit. Tell me if you're watching this. Tell me where you're viewing from, bro. We should. And if you ever want to come on the show, bro, come on to the show. Actually, I'm going to message him back and tell him that, hey, man, if you ever want to come on the show, you know, man. I think this kid's like, I think he's like 16. Anyways, we've been talking for well over a year. He's lives in Africa, a black kid in a community. We first connected because he was watching my videos and I was talking about love and acceptance. I mean, like this like a year and a half ago. And he reached out to me and he was like, dude, is it okay for me to feel love? Is it okay for me to feel emotions? And I was like, of course it is, bro. He's like, I think I love this girl, but the men in my my village or my town, they told me that having emotions and showing a woman love is weak. And like, that's just how the culture is there. And so it's interesting because we've built this bond over the last year and it's just been incredible. And he's been showing up in his life and taking action. And I've been able to give back just for nothing. And he just messaged me right now. And he said, you are fighting a very great course, bro. God bless you so much. I love that you can proudly say what you believe in. All lives do matter, man. That includes the black lives and the white. Personally, I don't see color. We are all humans, right? This is a 16-year-old kid who hasn't been corrupted by media and by consumerism and by just crazy shit. I mean, he's experienced so much on a different level, so much loss and anger and pain on a different level. And he's still choosing at the age of 16 to say, I don't see color, man. I don't see that. Like he's not going to buy into it, just like I'm not buying into it. And so it's so amazing. Shout out to you, bro. He said he will come on the show. So I'll reach out to him privately after this. He said straight up, I would be honored. Just tell me the requirements. Bro, there ain't no requirements, man. Requirements, you just come on and let's have a conversation, bro. And so I'm going to get him on here. Maybe in a day or two, I'll reach out to him. I'll make it happen, you guys. And we'll have a talk about that. And we'll get some people of color, right? It's black people. And he lives in Africa. So that's awesome, bro. I'm super excited. But again, you guys are going to get to choose the narratives that you want. So you got to listen to the voices that you want to listen to. And that's really all I wanted to say today is I just wanted you guys to know, like, man, we have an opportunity to become whoever we want. But you got to first be able to create the energy within yourselves that creates resourceful actions, because resourceful actions really lead to resourceful results. And I think you guys all know that. And that's been well documented by me and by a lot of successful people. So it doesn't look like there's any questions today. I was hoping that we would get some dialogue, but that's okay, Gillen gang. It's almost 11 o'clock. we had quite the episode. It was a heavy episode, but there's a lot to think about. And, you know, a lot of perspective for you guys to be able to maybe say, you know what, maybe I have some new things to look at, Marshall. Maybe, you know, maybe I do need to like look into what I'm feeding my mind. Maybe I do need to, you know, look at something bigger. And if you guys don't think it's a problem, check this out. Candace Owens, after that video went live, she made a GoFundMe for Parkside Cafe, which was a cafe that was destroyed in the riots and the looting. She made a GoFundMe for the cafe just to raise money so it could rebuild itself. And after almost $250,000, GoFundMe sent her this message and they shut her down because they said it wasn't within their guidelines. Okay, you guys can see it right there. I am never going to use GoFundMe ever again. I would definitely recommend that you never use GoFundMe again if you like supporting people who like oppression. It's not about racism, it's about oppression. Because the same platform is allowing people, I can't remember her name right now. I'll think about it. Allowing people to bail out the Antifa, bail out the protesters, bail out the rioters. GoFundMes are being allowed for that, but things like Candace started to rebuild a business that was burnt down was considered something that incites or that promotes hateful actions and hateful culture. And so it was banned. They let her keep the money that was already raised, but they shut her down. So if you can't look at it and see objectively, like, wow, like there's some fucked up shit that's going on here, man. Like this shit's gnarly, right? That's right. Evelyn Gillen gang. If you can't see that, then you have some bigger problems to probably focus on about yourself first, besides engaging in what the media is trying to get us to engage in. So just give you guys an opportunity to change, give you an opportunity to become better. I'm not saying what's right or wrong. I'm not saying that I'm right or wrong. I'm just saying do better. If you want to have better, be better, right? If you don't want stupid prizes, don't play stupid games in life. And that starts with accepting accountability and ownership of your own life. All right, Gillen gang. I hope you guys got some value out of this today. Guys, be a friend, tell a friend. This is the Marshall Gillen Show. We are streaming live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. From now on, we're going to be having a lot of interviews, maybe sometimes 2 a day, maybe more, maybe less. I'm not sure yet. But just know that I'm going to be showing up every single day here for you guys and ready to just serve at the highest level that I possibly can. And I hope that that's enough to be able to help you guys transform your life in an entertaining way. And like I said, a lot of big things coming up here on Marshall TV. Make sure you tune in tonight for the first ever live episode of The Nightly Show with Kyle Dillinger, streaming to you guys live on Facebook and YouTube at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. All right. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow in another episode of The Marshall Gillen Show. And don't forget, come out and see us at Marshall Palooza. I'd love to have you.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? Kyle Dillinger, just chilling here outside the bank. Had to make a deposit real quick. Wanted to hop on here and just say thank you to Marshall. The Grow and Bro retreat was truly the most transformational weekend for me in my entire life. And I'm actually already started putting in work. Went and looked at a property this morning and putting an offer in for a wholesale deal. So, you know, really I credit that to the clear mind that I got from last weekend. You know, I've had these same skills forever and just haven't started implementing them. And it just took, you know, releasing some of that stress off my shoulders, getting a clear mind, and really just got my confidence back. I can't thank you guys enough. That helped me and held space for me while we were out there. And again, Marshall, I just wanted to say thank you so much. You know, if you're a guy that feels like you should be somewhere else, and you just don't have that drive, or you just don't know, don't maybe have a clear mind to have a clear plan to get there, get out. It will change your life forever. All love.